through the basic procedure of registering to vote, right? If you have to give your home address, your phone number, your email, all this different information. And if you don't have a social security number or an ID, you have to give other identification
So what does it mean
information.
if you don't have a social security?
You have to give like tax forms and things like that if you and that matches your address if you don't have these access to this documentation. And then I'm saying, well, don't you understand that California checks all of this stuff, correct? And you're saying, well, oh yeah, well, you think California's checking? Yes.
Listen, again.
Do you have any evidence that they're not?
Again, no, I don't know specifically what the California voting.
So, and do you have any evidence that anybody has abused this system in California to register to vote?
Again, I think when you take a look at which states have voter ID.
I'm asking a simple question. Do you have any evidence that the system in California to register to vote has been abused?
Yes, when you take a look.
Okay, what's your evidence?
When you take a look at the electoral map and you take a look at the votes.
Excuse me, I'm asking for evidence in California specific.
No specifics, but overall.
Okay, so you don't have specific evidence in the state of California.
Again, Harry, you're doing it once again.
I'm asking for evidence of your claim. Do you have any evidence in the state of California that the system has been abused?
I told you, no, I do not.
No, you do not. So then why are you making a claim of which you don't have evidence?
Did you go to the next page, by the way? Did you have to put
No,
tax?
I can't. I'm not a California resident. I can't register to vote here.
Oh, okay. So again, you're doing this thing where you like to put the gun on me, right? You say, oh, you don't have specific evidence in California. Congratulations. No, I don't have specific evidence in California. But again, voter ID needs to be mandatory. Social security number needs to be mandatory. Paper ballots need to be mandatory. Otherwise, you do not have secure elections. You do not have a democracy. And the fact that you don't admit
shut
that,
the fuck up about democracy.
No, it's absolutely unbelievable.
You don't care about democracy, number one.
It makes no sense. I absolutely do.
No, you don't.
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
No, you do not. You voted for Donald Trump. You don't care about democracy.
Okay. Another generalization. See, I get it.
It's just like we can just do a thought experiment on that, if you'd like. But no, if you don't have any evidence of a claim, you don't make that claim. Right? You can't just say, well, I look at this, I look at this. You just have a fundamental misunderstanding. You have a fundamental misunderstanding of how to register to vote, the penalties for registering to vote. It's just like, this is insane.
You just went on the website and you could click that you don't need a social security number, you don't need ID.
And then you have to go through 4 other pages of information.
Again, and you don't have to submit your tax documents. That's not true.
Yes, it is. Well, if you can't provide certain documentation, you have to submit other documentation.
Mm-hmm. Listen, agree to disagree on that one. I don't think
not agree. You can't agree to disagree on fact.
You're right. In fact, you can't. And there were 2 boxes which said
you can't agree to disagree on fact. If you can't provide certain information, you have to give others.
So why do you think then the people gave Donald Trump a mandate? What do you think went wrong? A mandate to be our president, right? He won the popular vote. He won the electoral college in a landslide, I'd like to say. And
what was the popular vote margin again? Please refresh us.
It was, I think, maybe 2 million, right? I don't know exactly.
No, in terms of percentage, do you know off the top of your head?
I can take a look for you. It was 1.5%.
Yeah. Do you call 1.5% a mandate?
Listen, I think that the GOP candidate winning the popular vote for the first time since 2004, I'd say that that's a pretty big shift. And that
we're not talking about a shift. We're talking about a mandate.
Listen, I think if you took a look at what happened in this election, I do think you can say that, yes, the people did give Donald Trump a mandate. I do think you can say that.
Wait, so then Joe Biden had a mandate in 2020 as well?
The 2020
mandate than Donald
I know
Trump
you're going to ask for evidence once again, but we all know about the 2020 election. Okay.
No, it's not. We all know about the 2020 election. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election.
All right. He lost. Just like, it's okay actually, because he got the last laugh. He is the president of the United States starting in January.
I don't think that's the last laugh per se, but I mean,
you
describe it as you want. This guy doesn't care about you. You're up here like simping for him. It's super strange.
Again,
but yeah, I mean, this entire conversation, you don't have evidence of anything. You just don't understand. Like,
again, for everybody listening, what Harry does is he likes to give specific gotcha moments where he asks for specific evidence and he wants the bill and he wants the exact news article. False. Okay, you are.
Wait, do you hear yourself?
Excuse me. You have to.
No, don't excuse me. Excuse you. Do you hear yourself?
Absolutely.
My God, you just listen to how fucking deranged you sound. You're like, it's a gotcha moment to ask you for evidence.
Listen,
I ask. Oh my God, you're making. First of all, I haven't asked for niche evidence or a specific bill or a specific line of a bill or anything like that. I
No, but
simply
I see you
asked
do it to
you.
people all the time.
No, just be quiet. Just be
All the
quiet.
time.
I simply asked you for evidence of widespread fraud or impropriety when it comes to the voter registration system in California.
I
Just
did give you
something of
evidence on
that. Just
that.
something
I
of that.
absolutely
And
gave
you
you
said
evidence on that.
you said time and time again, I don't have specific evidence.
Did we not just go on the website to register to vote? Did we not just do that?
We did. We did.
And tell me what we ended up finding.
And you said that you were making the claim that the system has been abused. I'm asking for evidence that the system has been abused.
Again, but you actually shifted to that after you realized that I was right with my initial point.
Wait, what were you right about initially?
That there's 2 boxes where you do not need a social security number, and
then you have to provide other information. That's been the claim the entire time.
So
That
again,
if you don't, like for a homeless American who doesn't have an ID or doesn't know their social security number, they have other means to register to vote. Right?
Listen,
you can provide other identification information.
if
You
this
can get a state ID, whatever it might be. Even if you don't have a driver's license, you can get a state ID. There are other methods to register to vote. Like not everybody has a driver's license. If do you not hear yourself? Like not everybody has a driver's license. Some people don't have a driver's license. Some people are homeless, and I think homeless people still need to register to vote.
If you don't have a social security number, you can't vote. And yes, there are ways
That's
to get
the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
Absolutely not.
So homeless Americans who don't know their social security number should not be allowed to vote.
You need to learn where to draw the line. And I understand, and I'm an
hey, buddy, they're Americans. There's no this American can vote or that American can't vote. We did that before in history where we said certain Americans can't and certain Americans can't. It didn't go very well.
You are unbelievable trying to even compare it to that.
Listen, I'm sorry if you don't understand that there's a racial component to that as well. Disproportionately, African Americans are more likely to be poor in the United States. So if you understand that disproportionately people of color in the United States are more likely to be homeless and not have access to like a social security number or a driver's license, and you're saying that if you don't have access to that number, you can't vote, then you're disproportionately disenfranchising people of color. If you don't understand that, you can't see the deeper things in this, then I can't help you.
The funny thing is you keep saying I can't see the deeper things when you're the one who can't. You're not even ready for the conversation.
What are you talking about? I asked for evidence. You're so goddamn delusional to the point where asking for evidence for you is like offensive.
Thank you. Somebody in the chat. Everyone has a social security number. That's right. Every U.S. citizen has a social security number.
Yes, but we. Oh my God.
And hold on.
Do you not recognize that some homeless people don't know their social security number? They don't have access to it.
You brought in talking about African Americans and their situation when you're not even ready for the conversation that the Democratic Party and the mainstream media actually love racism, and they're the reason.
I don't understand how at 21 you can be this far gone. No. Just excuse me. Just stop talking. I don't understand how at this age you can be this far gone to the point where you're like, the media loves racism. All I said was that if you're just so far gone.
No.
If you are a person of color in America, you are more likely to be less well off financially, thus homeless. And if your view is that someone who's homeless who doesn't I see a person vote, then you're disproportionately impacting those people, thus disproportionately impacting and disenfranchising. I don't know if you know that word; it's a big one. Disenfranchising people of color. That in and of itself has a racial component.
So what you're doing again is the same thing that you did with the border. You're taking a small percentage, a minuscule percentage point. I don't even think it's definitely not even 1%. Hold on. It's definitely not even 1%. A minuscule percentage point of examples, and you're talking about the homeless vote who don't have access to their social security number. That's what you're talking about. And you're saying we should just get rid of it. Let's get rid of social security number. Let's get rid of this because of this minuscule percent of people, just like with the border.
I don't want any American to not be able to register to vote.
I think that when it completely degrades your elections and
there's no degrade, but that's the thing. Your entire argument is premised off of false information. You're saying it degrades the election. You're saying it degrades the election. You have no evidence that it degrades the election.
Even if there were 0 examples, when you don't have the mandate for voter ID, when you don't need to prove that you're a citizen of this country to vote, guess what?
If you're registered to vote, there are ways that when you go to vote, you have to give them information so they know who you say you are.
That's totally false. Okay, the only thing is the signature.
What?
Because I voted.
What planet are you living on? What state did you vote in?
I can explain it to you. I voted. I'm not going to say the state, but it's a liberal state. Okay, I voted in a liberal state, and Guess what? When I went to vote, the only thing you need is a signature. That's all they asked me for. No ID.
They asked you for your address, all right? Right?
No, they
They
didn't.
asked you for yes, they
They
did.
asked me for my. They did not. They asked me
Yes,
for
they
my
did.
name.
They asked for your name,
Okay, yeah, they asked for my name,
and then they asked you. Now you're just straight up lying.
No, okay, listen, I don't
You're
100% know, but
100% straight
to
up
be
lying.
honest with you, it doesn't actually make a difference. To my knowledge, they said my address back to me and confirmed it, but you're saying that people can't find out other people's addresses? What's stopping me from meeting somebody at a coffee shop in California, some guy, right, going in and saying, "Oh, what's your name?" "Oh, great, someone around my age." "Oh, okay." End up finding out his address one way or another. Again, not
And
too
then how are
hard.
you going to match their signature?
Again, if you've seen it once, right? It's not that
What?
difficult. If you've seen it once, Harry, these people again are getting away with it, and you just refuse
But
to believe it.
wait. So
The fact
apparently,
that
so just to be clear, you think that there's this mass, this mass number of people across the country who are stealing people's names, then
no, I
learning
don't
their
think it is that.
addresses somehow at random coffee shop, and then they're being able to forge their signature again at a voting location, and
course.
then when that person comes in to vote, that person who voted on their behalf is not being caught.
Of course, I don't think that that's happening in a mass number. My point is if
Wait,
you
so
wanted
then
to
what's
do
the
it,
claim here?
you wanted to do it, you could do it, and that's a problem. That's the
If
problem here.
if
you
if you wanted to steal something from a store, you could do it. With any crime in the, do you hear yourself? With any crime
Absolutely.
in the United States,
But
you
it's
can do it if you want to, if you
absolutely,
tried,
and I'm
absolutely.
actually
But it
really
doesn't mean that you won't face criminal penalties. It doesn't mean that you won't be caught. It's actually incredibly easy to catch somebody who's voted in somebody's name. Because, as I just mentioned, when that person goes in to vote and realizes, wow, somebody voted for me, they're like, well, I am me. Here's all my, I can prove that I'm me. And then they go after that person who already voted on them. Or alternatively, if they voted first and then the imposter comes in and tries to vote, then they are caught red-handed. It's actually incredibly easy to catch people who do this, and they are caught. It's just like a handful of people in each state. You just don't know this. You just think that there's this mass conspiracy because you've just bought into right-wing propaganda from Rogan or Trump or Musk or people on Twitter. Listen to yourself. No, in no other aspect of your life do you have such a low bar for when it comes to standard of evidence, right? No other aspect of your life. If I told you that if an experimental doctor, right, if an experimental doctor who's doing a heart surgery on you told you, well, no, trust me, I'm the best at surgery. I'm the best at the surgery. You're like, okay, well, do you have like a reference? Are you qualified? No. Don't worry about it. There's like a bigger picture here. Trust me, I know more than anybody. I've never,
totally different.
just trust me.
Totally
Right?
different.
You would be
You're
like,
doing
holy
it.
shit, why would I would never go to that surgery. I would never have this person conduct that
ridiculous.
surgery on me. But when it comes to politics and you have such a low bar of evidence where you say, well, you just have to see it with your own eyes. You're just refusing to see it. It's nonsense. You don't do this in any other aspect of your life except politics for some reason.
Listen, you and I both know that that's an absolutely ridiculous example. I really do believe that deep down you do know these things are happening. I don't know.
I'm not
I don't know if you're
unintelligent like
paid
you.
by the Democratic Party. Again, I haven't really watched.
Yeah, I'm not unintelligent like
You're
you, buddy.
probably not.
Not
Who
everybody
knows?
is not everybody's
I didn't claim.
as
I
simple
didn't
as you.
claim that. Listen, I'm not a genius. Okay, but
Really?
again, you just used the example, which I'd like to talk about before. Of
Please.
you said that crime, right? You said if you want to rob a store, right, you could still do it if you want to, but you're going to be charged for it, right? So this is another thing that the Democrats did, right? In my
Oh my
state,
God.
in my state, they created a law where if you stole less than $600 of merchandise, you wouldn't be prosecuted.
I don't know. I can't talk about your state because I don't know what state you live in.
Hang on a second. You wouldn't be. It's in multiple Democratic states. California's like this, where you couldn't be prosecuted, right? It wasn't against the law basically to steal under $600, or I'm sorry, maybe it was against the law, but you couldn't actually be charged with anything, right? So that is an example of a situation, right, where of course you could still steal. Of course it isn't a good thing, and you could get charged for it if you steal more than $600. But you're almost incentivizing it by having these sorts of laws. So it's the same thing when you talk about voter ID. Not that it's happening on this crazy large scale with the specific example we're talking about, but that you're almost incentivizing it by not having voter ID, and there's no excuse for it.
So in California, you can
whatever
still
argument you want to make,
in
there is no
California
excuse.
you can face up to 6 months in jail for stealing something under $950.
Exactly. No. Under $950. What's the
It's a
cap be
misdemeanor.
before that? No. So before that. So what's the minimum you need to steal?
No, there is no minimum.
There is a minimum.
There is no
There
minimum.
absolutely is.
In terms of jail time, no, you can face up to 6 months in jail for stealing under like $950.
Again, I'm pretty sure there's a $600 $600 limit.
You said you were 950. Now it's 600. Which one is it? What the law is, and I don't know why this has like been misconstrued by Republicans so much in California. But if it's under $950 in terms of value, it's a misdemeanor, which means you can go up to jail for up to 6 months, or there's other penalties. You can face fine, whatever. If it's above $950, it's felony, and then you face thus more tougher punishment. It's that simple. It's just that fucking simple. Just read. That's the problem. You don't read. You don't know any of this stuff. You listen. Every single thing you've said thus far has come from a right-wing commentator,
But
of which
again,
they say,
no.
oh, stealing this much in California is perfectly fine. That's not true.
But it is. Have you seen the stores? Listen. I have worked.
Please debunk me.
I will tell you firsthand experience.
No. I don't need first-hand.
I
Please look it up
absolutely
right now. Look it
Hold
up
on.
right now.
Hold on a
No,
second.
look it up. Look it up.
Hold
I
on.
don't need. No. I don't need you to tell me firsthand experience, because your firsthand experience is anecdotal. You don't make anecdotal arguments. You don't make arguments based off of experience. You make arguments based off of data, something that you don't apparently like doing. Look it up. Just look it up. Just Google it really quickly. Can you steal $950 worth of merchandise in California and face no charges? Just
So
look it up.
sorry, I thought California. I'm looking here at New York right now. Okay, which is another blue state.
Okay, so New York. What's the claim for New York?
Right. So starting over, you have fourth degree property value over $1,000. Right.
Wait, what's the claim
Hold on. That's
in
a
New York?
Class E felony. That's a Class E felony for over $1,000.
Yeah, I'm asking you, what's the claim for New York?
And again, that it's a Class E felony over.
Can you stop talking? You're talking about. I'm asking you to what are you arguing about New York? What is your main claim about New York?
My main claim is that they in blue states they have much weaker laws.
What's your claim specifically about New York?
That they have much weaker laws for theft.
What's your claim specifically about New York? You brought up New York in particular. What's your specific claim about New York?
New York, they have much weaker laws than they do in other red states. Okay, and I worked in retail stores, and the security guards are told not to touch anybody, and then if anybody steals, hold on, let me just explain this to you. Let me get this out. That when people steal, they just let them walk out, and the only time they call the police is when they have stolen over $600 worth of merchandise. And I've worked there, and the security.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't care about your personal experience. I said that to you earlier. I don't care about an anecdotal experience, right?
But that's also something that they do in all retail stores or most.
I don't care. I don't care about your personal experience. You keep saying, "Oh, when I worked here, this is what they said to me." I don't care about your personal experience.
It's not. It's a national.
No. This is not universal. You're describing a personal experience that you had. I don't care about your personal experience.
Also happens in almost every retail store.
You keep saying that this is a universal experience. This is a experience. This is a claim that you are making based off of your personal experience. It's called an anecdotal argument. I'm asking you, what is your specific claim for New York? Give me numbers. You're saying that you can steal under a certain amount and not be charged?
Again, weekly charged. Maybe not totally not be charged.
Okay.
But very.
Yeah, if you steal a for example, if you steal a toothbrush at a CVS versus stealing like a Gucci handbag, there's going to be different charges for that. Right. Obviously, there's going to be different severity of charges depending on what you're stealing and how much it's worth. Obviously.
Listen, the main point here is that you and the Democrats almost promote stealing with the policies that you have in place.
What? You're out of your goddamn mind. I mean, this is like genuinely delusional shit, bro.
Listen, like most of your lives, it is a lot of delusional shit. And
you're not making evidence-based claims. You're just saying things. This entire conversation, you're just saying things. Please justify that the Democrats incentivize stealing with our policies. Please.
We just talked about it for the last 5 minutes, right?
Wait, no. Give me a specific policy that Democrats have passed that incentivize stealing.
I just talked about it, right?
No.
How
you have not just talked about it. Give me a specific policy position.
About it.
Give me a specific policy.
If you want me to find the exact one, I can look.
No. I don't need you to find an exact one. You made the claim. So what off the top of your head in the claim because you made a claim. What right now can you say to back it up?
again, that in California and in New York and in other blue states, they lowered the thresholds that it's less jail time, less charges if you didn't steal a certain threshold, which is promoting more stealing.
You still get a misdemeanor and can go to jail. And
Again.
also, wait, I'm sorry.
So you're saying
First
that
of all, I don't know how that incentivizes stealing, because you still go to jail if you steal under a certain amount. You still go to jail. They're still up to 6 months in prison, especially if you're a repeat offender, right? But the idea there is that somebody who steals like CVS goods, like pharmaceutical goods, because they're poor, for example, should not be charged with a felony. Oh, Parker's here. I didn't even know Parker was in the box. Should not be charged with a felony if they steal those things. That's the idea.
Okay.
It's still saying that, hey, there's punishment if you steal, but that people who are poor and they steal X, Y, and Z should not be convicted felons. However, on repeat offenses, then you can become a felon.
So take a look in 2014. I found something for you. You'll be very happy to hear it. California, 2014, Proposition 47. It reclassified certain theft and drug offenses from felonies to misdemeanors, increased the threshold for felony theft from $450 to $950, meaning
Yes.
thefts under $950 are typically charged, resulting in lighter penalties. So now, explain to me how that does not
I
promote
literally just
more
talked about
stealing.
why they did that.
No. Explain how that doesn't promote more stealing and make people say, maybe I will steal more, because guess what? It seems like the government's almost incentivizing it, which they are there.
Wait,
It's
so
absolutely
if
ridiculous.
the government decides that a felony charge for a crime is too strict, and they decide to move it to a misdemeanor,
think
does that
that's too
automatically incentivize people to commit that crime? Or is it just the government making adjustments for charges? Because
that's
then in your
subjective.
worldview,
That's
we should
very
make
subjective.
no, because then in your worldview, every single thing should be a felony.
Absolutely not.
That quite literally is, because if it's a misdemeanor, it's incentivizing said crime.
Yeah, we can even reduce his view down to, if you're not giving the literal like life sentences for each particular crime you're referencing, well then you're not putting in the most deterrence you possibly could, right? So you're actively, like, in effect, under your own reasoning, right, incentivizing people to steal under your view, because you don't want there to be a life sentence for stealing.
Is
that what you're arguing?
No, what I'm saying is that
It's what are you arguing? Yeah.
it's not what I'm arguing. Again, we're talking about stealing here. Like, it's pretty clearly wrong, right? Would you agree?
Yeah,
I'm not
we,
talking
we
about-
disagree
I'm not
with
talking
stealing.
about
We're
stealing.
not like
I'm not talking
pro
about some mom
stealing.
walking through the supermarket and her kid puts a piece of candy in her purse and she doesn't realize that she should go to prison for that. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? What I'm saying is that when you have these laws in place and when you have democratic cities in places like California, which are absolutely disastrous and absolutely run like the worst things I've ever seen in the world, right?
What?
And you look back in 2020.
So you're like pro law and order, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm
So we shouldn't put criminals in the Oval Office, or held civilly liable
Is that
sexual
really a
abusers.
conversation? Really?
Yeah, no, seriously.
Is
That's
that
why
a
I was, when you were-
conversation? Yes.
That's why, or when earlier you're like, I'm pro law enforcement, I was saying, no, you're not. You don't care. You don't care about democracy. You don't care about the rule of law. You voted for Donald Trump. You voted for a convicted
You
felon.
think Joe Biden is so innocent himself? Really?
Please, what crimes have Joe Biden been charged and indicted with? Or convicted of?
I'm not even going to get into where you say what crimes. You don't think there was
What
shady-
crimes?
Listen,
What crimes?
Listen, take a look at the 2020
Again, you
election.
can't just go take a look to
and
claim
Hunter's
something.
laptop, right? Look
What
at
about
that.
Hunter's laptop?
What
Again,
do you
you're
mean,
just
what about
you're just
Hunter's
like
laptop? That
what about
51
Hunter's laptop?
intelligence agents said that it was Russian disinformation when it wasn't. What are you talking about?
What about Hunter? Wait. You're saying that Joe Biden committed a crime. Also, they didn't say it was Russian misinformation. They said it was
Listen.
likely an operation of Russian misinformation.
I want you to.
Wait, hold on. Be quiet. What crimes in particular did Joe Biden commit?
Listen, has he been charged for anything?
No. I'm not asking.
I'm asking-
What crimes did Joe Biden commit? Very particular. What crimes?
If you think.
No.
And
In
Listen,
your view,
he
what
hasn't been
crimes did
convicted
Joe
of
Biden
anything.
commit?
He hasn't been convicted of anything. Why do you think that
I'm not asking if he's
Because
been convicted of anything. What crimes did Joe Biden commit in your view?
he has had
No. Your view.
horrible business dealings.
Like what? What crime?
He got money
What
from
crime?
Russia.
What crime?
Where he got money from Russia.
Okay, cite me the evidence where Joe Biden got money from Russia.
Listen.
No.
It's
We're doing
Ari,
evidence-based claims now,
Ari, it's
buddy.
out there,
So
though.
please go find me Joe
Okay.
Biden getting money from Russia.
I want to break it down because again, you
No,
have
no, we're not breaking it down. I need you to go
but
find evidence
it's
for
much
me.
more complicated than you just saying find
Go,
evidence.
go find evidence.
No,
Go find
listen,
evidence.
Ari, listen.
No.
What you're not understanding is that
No. You're not understanding. You're not understanding. There's nothing further you're saying right now other than evidence. So either you find evidence or you retract the claim. So go use the device you have in front of you, the computer you have in front of you, and go find evidence. Proceed.
okay, sure. If you want me to, I'll retract the claim. Joe Biden has not committed any crimes. I have no evidence of it. Now, can I say something? Are you
Just to
happy?
be clear, now
Absolutely.
let's go back to the argument
Joe
at hand.
Biden has not
Donald
committed
Trump is
any
a convicted
crimes that I
felon and you
have
voted
evidence.
for him.
No, hold on. Now let me say something, please.
No,
How
Donald
about
Trump
this?
is a convicted
How
felon
about
and you
this?
voted for him. You can't be pro-law
Yes,
enforcement.
and I'm so proud, and he's going to be the 47th president of the United
Yeah,
States.
so how are you
You're-
pro-law
and
enforcement if you
and
vote for a
Parker-
convicted felon?
You and Parker are going to have to sit there and watch. So
How are
enjoy.
you pro-law
Enjoy,
enforcement
buddy.
if you voted for a
Enjoy,
convicted
buddy.
felon?
He's your president. Donald J. Trump is
He's actually
47th
not the
president
president
of
right
the
now. I
United
don't know if you knew
Oh.
that.
Yeah, he's
So
just
are you-
presidentially elect. Secondly, as it
Oh.
relates to this, you also you won't acknowledge the fact that Donald Trump, although he's committed all of these types of crimes, right? You aren't pro law and order for supporting him. He also wants to pardon people who pled guilty to violently assaulting police officers. So he's very pro police.
You want to talk
He's
about
so
pardons?
pro police. He's so pro police that he wants to particularly pardon the people that violently assaulted them and literally pled guilty to it, calling them patriots. Don't even bring up fucking Hunter Biden, bro.
No,
I'm gonna
I'm
cry.
not. Because listen, no,
Is
no.
that
I
that
totally-
comparable to people who
No,
violently
listen,
assaulted police officers?
I totally understand wanting to pardon your son, especially when, listen, I'm pretty sure they had to take Joe Biden in and first explain to him, okay, Joe, you're the president of the United States. Okay, your son was with hookers and was snorting cocaine.
Oh,
And
you
yes,
can't
go.
say that on the live.
Yeah, you gotta go,
later,
buddy. Sorry.
Later, buddy. Not
Later,
sad.
buddy. Hey, buddy, get the hell out of here. You can't say that on TikTok Live. Goodbye. What a loser that guy is. Just a total loser.
Interesting night so far, huh?